And I am online. There we go. Gonna do a new riff video on Old Country Buffet. This has been memed quite a bit about the carving station, which is pretty hilarious. And I personally have been to a country buffet, and it was nearly, I would say, a good 10 years ago now at this point. And despite how kind of awkward the training video is, it was a very good restaurant, you know. But for several jobs I've seen restaurant training videos, and it's kind of hilarious how much they've changed over the years. They've gotten slightly better, but some of them are just hilarious, like we're going to see. So without further ado, let's watch the carving station training segment. Let's get right into it now.
Your other shift duties. We'll begin with your second shift duty, greeting and serving guests.
Good evening. Friday enough to eat today?
Boy, I'll say.
Well, that's great. Would you care for some ham or beef?
A little both, I think.
All right.
All right.
Making friendly conversations like this is a big part of greeting and serving
So, do you
guests.
like meat?
At other buffet-style restaurants, guests often feel they're on their own.
I'm on my own.
Once they've paid for the
I need
meal,
help.
no one
Okay.
pays much attention to them. At Old Country Buffet,
That's life in
we
itself.
work hard to make sure our guests never feel that way.
I never want you to feel
As a
that
carver,
way.
you spend a little more time
Never gonna
with
give
guests
you
or
up.
team
Never
members.
gonna let you down.
That means you have a great chance to
Never
make
gonna
them
turn
feel
around
welcome and
and hurt you.
appreciated. By greeting the guest warmly and holding brief conversations as you serve them, you say to our
Hey,
guests,
lady, do you like meat?
"We're glad you're here."
Okay, enjoy.
Let's take a closer look at greeting guests. Every conversation you hold with a guest should begin something like this.
Good evening.
These two lights look like
Or-
golden tits.
Hi, how are you?
Once you've greeted the guest, start a brief conversation. Try asking a question the guest can answer in a sentence or two. You
So,
might
do you like
ask
the
something
color
like
red,
this,
lady?
Is it still hot out there?
or this,
Did you catch a game last night?
No.
or this.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hold quick conversations
So, do you
with our
like
younger
watermelon and
guests,
jello
too.
and
Children
taters?
often play a big part in deciding which restaurant their parents visit. We want them to feel welcome and special here,
You
too.
are welcome.
So start conversations with children by saying something like this,
What grade are you in at school?
or this,
Have you decided what dessert you're going to have?
You ever seen a grown man
this.
naked?
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
Once
Ever
you've
do a
held a
Turkish
brief
bath?
conversation, it's time to move on to the second half of this shift duty, serving the
Do you
guests.
like my hat?
Begin by asking,
Would you care for some ham or beef?
Ham, please.
once
All the
guests
ham.
have chosen what meat they want,
Can I have all
You'll
the ham
carve a
and beef?
slice of it.
What?
exactly what size of slice you will serve will be a judgment call on your part, unless the guest makes a
You
special
call that a
request.
slice?
We don't limit the can have. We do, however, manage
So that
it
means
to
you can
reduce
just go
waste.
up there and say, keep slicing.
Here are some guidelines
another
for knowing
slice,
how much meat
another
to serve a
slice,
guest.
Another slice, another slice.
When your guest's plate has very little on it, carve a full cut. Lay it over the
There
bare
you
portion of the
go.
plate.
Go, ham. Please,
Children
this person.
usually prefer smaller portions. Carve them
Not
a
me, I
smaller
like big
cut.
portions. Even when I
Place
was a
it
kid.
on an open section of the
There
plate.
we go.
If your
Ro-
guest's plate looks
Roast
like
beef with
this,
Jell-O. Ew.
quarter cut or a half cut of the meat the guest requests.
No, put a full slab on there.
Sometimes guests will tell you exactly what size of cut or number of pieces they want.
Give me all of your ham,
Other guests
sir.
will ask you to carve a slice thicker than our usual dime width.
I like it thick.
These guests all feel they're getting more when getting a thicker cut.
We all like
Actually,
thick cuts.
the thin cut ensures them a tender piece of meat, which is why we carve dime thicknesses. If a guest
Why not quarter
asks you,
thick?
I'd like a half-inch slice of that roast beef, please.
say something like this.
No.
I'd be glad to carve you that. Thinner slices are more tender, though. Would that be all right? You can always come back up for more.
Sir, did
Okay.
I stutter? I
Of
want full
course,
piece.
if the guest insists on a thicker slice, honor the request. No matter what the topic of your conversation has been or what size slice you've served, you will end each guest contact with the same phrase.
How's that for you?
Never
That's
return.
fine, thanks.
Never leave.
Asking,
Never come to me
how's
again.
that, makes sure guests are happy with the slice they received.
How's that?
If
Never
they're
have.
not, or if they also want a slice of a different meat, you can correct the situation
Can
promptly.
I have your hat?
Guests will sometimes
That's
ask
a
you
ham.
questions
Can I
about
have
the
it?
food we serve and how we prepare it. To be ready for these questions,
Well, you see,
make
we,
the most of
cook it and then
opportunities to
make it
learn
come out
about
here.
our menu
That's
items.
How that works.
If you are asked a question you can't answer, find someone who can answer it.
Like a manager.
The nearest
Right.
manager is usually
Hey,
a
where do we
good place
cook
to
our
start.
meats? In the kitchen?
Your third shift duty is maintaining the carving station. As you carve and serve meats, your station quickly loses the cleanliness and appeal it had when the restaurant opened. Throughout your shift, you'll complete routine cleaning and maintenance tasks to
Routine.
return your station to its original appearance. Here are some of the tasks you'll complete.
Cleaning.
Wipe grease from the carving board with a paper towel.
Then store the
Grease and meat
drink it
scraps
later.
spoil the appearance of your station. Wipe them away frequently. Discard
away
the
your
used paper
sins.
towels in the wastebasket immediately. Keep the wastebasket in a spot that is. Then, wipe the carving board, front board, and stainless steel surfaces with a clean, sanitized towel.
Be sure not to
In
spit
between
on the
groups of
station
guests,
either.
to wipe your carving knives and chef's forks with your clean, sanitized towel.
Do not wipe your ass with the
Keep
clean
an eye on the
wipes.
walls, mirrors, sneeze guards, and floors around your station to make sure they stay clean.
I really got to stop
If they
spitting
aren't,
on the wall.
use the time between guests to clean them. Floor spills immediately by guarding the area personally
Please do
or
not
putting up a
jizz
wet
all over
floor
the
sign
floor.
until the spill can be cleaned up. Damp mopping the area with hot, soapy water,
Oh, yeah,
and leaving
that's
the
some
wet
hot
floor
soapy
sign in
water
place
right there.
until the area is completely dry.
Thick.
Be sure to wash your hands after performing every cleaning task.
But you have the cutting glove on.
Rinse out your towels frequently in sanitizing solution. Towels that aren't sanitized frequently not only are unappetizing to look at, but they also leave streaks
Please do not
on the
eat
stainless
your
steel.
towels. No matter how tempting.
Maintaining the carving station includes maintaining
That's
carving
a knife,
knives.
all right.
To keep your knives sharp and ready to carve, you use a grooved steel rod called, appropriately, the
A
steel
rod.
doesn't actually sharpen the knife.
A knife sharpener.
It hones it by aligning microscopic burrs on the edge of
Burr.
the blade. After cutting about 10 to 15 slices of meat, you will notice that your knife isn't cutting as easily as it was when it was first sharpened.
My knife is not cutting
It's
it easily
then
as
that
it
you
was.
use the steel to restore the knife's edge. Here's how to use the steel.
The
Note that the
steel.
process is described for right-handed carvers. If you are left-handed,
Usually
reverse
called
the
knife
process.
sharpener.
Before you start, put a carver's protective glove on each hand. Hold the steel in your left hand. Hold the steel so the point is up. You will keep the steel's tip up throughout this process.
God, this stutters a lot.
Hold the knife in your right hand.
Oh?
Place the blade of the knife at the base of the steel on the side furthest from you. The cutting edge should be facing up.
And a
Blade
cross form
up
to
the
deflect
steel, working
vampires.
left to right.
Shing,
Make sure the entire blade is drawn across the steel.
shing.
Next, blade of the knife at the tip of the steel on the side closest to you. Again, the cutting edge should face up. Draw the blade down left to right. This hones the other side of the blade's cutting edge. Repeat this process several times on each side of the cutting edge.
Then test the blade on a customer that
Draw
annoys
the
you.
blade over the clean, sanitized towel lying on the carving counter.
Don't lick your towel.
Do not hold the towel in your left hand. Your carving knives are sharp enough to slice not only through the towel, but all fingers.
And
Remember, knives
And
are
finger.
never taken to the dish room for cleaning. Once you have wiped the steel with your clean, sanitized towel, return it to its appropriate place.
the trash can.
Your fourth shift duty is assisting when the guest flow is light. When there are no guests at your station and you're caught up on your own tasks, you'll assist line attendants.
They should do it themselves.
Your final shift duty is doing whatever it takes to take care of the guests. At
Oh,
Old
you
Country
like
Buffet,
lasagna?
serving
Yeah.
guests is our #1 priority. You have many opportunities
both these
throughout
plates at
your
the same
shift to
time.
lend a helping hand to our
Okay.
guests. Every time you offer that helping hand, chances are you increase guests' satisfaction with his or her visit.
I'm helping you with
Before
ham.
we leave your shift duties, let's take a minute or two to
Okay, you
look
can
closely
leave.
at something
Get
you
away from my
need to be
station.
aware of every minute you're on the job.
Get away.
Safety. As a carver,
Sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. Your
you
life's
work in
falling
an
apart,
area
but
with
get
a
away from
high
my
potential
station.
for accidents. Sharp knives, grease from the ham. And the rush of a busy shift can sometimes combine to create a disaster.
Everybody's the Russian.
That's why you need to always work safely. Here are a few things to keep in mind.
Here you go.
Treat your knives with respect.
I respect
They are
you,
razor
knife.
sharp, honed to an edge that cuts through meat with only a little pressure. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter to the knife if it's cutting through a ham or your finger. Don't grab for a falling knife.
Blah.
Let it hit the floor. In your haste to prevent it from falling, you stand a 50-50 chance of grabbing the blade,
I
not
like
the
those
handle.
odds.
Take extra time and care when you're washing knives. When both your hands and the knives are wet, it's easy to slip if you're hurrying. Slow down and
Slow
complete
down.
the job safely.
Complete
Never
your job.
place knives in
Ooh, nice
bus
and
tubs,
slow.
Lexans, or sinks full of soapy water. Use only sharp knives.
Shing.
Believe it or not, dull
Wing.
knives are more dangerous than sharp knives.
Yong.
Because you have to work harder to get a dull knife to cut,
Schwung.
the chances of
Schwung.
cutting yourself or a guest
Schwung.
are much
Schwing.
greater.
Schwung.
Finally, be aware at all times
all
of
of
where
the
the
beef.
guest's hands are. Without realizing it, guests may move their hands in the path of your knife. Keep an eye
Take
out
your
for this.
finger off.
In this video, we've examined
video
your
link.
shift duties other than carving meat. Your shift duties are the things you will spend the majority of your time doing.
Like carving
Once
meat.
again, here are the shift duties we've examined in this video segment. Greeting and serving guests.
Hi, how are you?
Maintaining the carving station.
Cleaning jizz off the
Assisting
floor. Oh, pff. It abruptly ends. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. It abruptly ended. I'll make sure to link the video. I'll make sure to link the video. For a second, I thought it went off. I'll be sure to link where I got it from, the YouTuber, and I'll also, damn it, there we go. Also link the decline of Country Buffet. And I hope you liked the video. Short and sweet. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll try to get another one up as soon as possible. Have a good day.